Hello and welcome back. I gotta do a follow-up. Connect our chat. Yes,
Fifth function test.
it's still working. Use that breaks after a day. What was I looking at? Oh yeah. Oh. Why does it say I currently have 0 lino points? Oh. Blockchain under maintenance. Some services may be unavailable. Better check how much I have. Lino account. Bad gateway. Apparently not. Well, don't know. Everything's down. Doesn't even show previous videos or anything. Whatever. It be what it do. So, what was I up to? So I got it working in 2 dimensions, and then I just gotta get it working in the other dimension. But shouldn't this be the thingy? Why is this that? Shut. And files at server. And server. Where's the music at? So everything clearly seems to be turned off.
Mono, hello there.
Hello. Where am I at? There we are. Fairly certain I turned everything back on again. I just probably didn't upload it. Upload. And that's got all that turned off. Okay. Okay. So where are the problems? Got that working. Okay. Interesting. That working. But that isn't working. That does work, but isn't cutting. That is cutting. Wait, what are those points there for? It's nowhere near where the edge of the screen would be. I don't think that one is either. Okay. Let's display the other corner of the screen. Scroll, scroll. With not negative. Where do you say you are? It could be because the screen wasn't square. I might have some sort of a missing link. That seems fine. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. You know what? I'm gonna have all the rest of the variations of this. Just because I can. Four corners. Should probably make the boxes a little smaller too. But I'll do. Okay. For some reason pausing and unpausing this breaks it. Weird.
Mono, for school we had to draw something that fits with a song we could choose ourselves, and mine was a samurai and a samurai helmet I had to add.
Add to add? Oh no. That's better not smaller. It's probably a little too small.
Japanese text and it's I wrote hentai.
Whoa. Were any of the teachers able to read Japanese that you know of? Oh my god. I can imagine like a whole group of teachers and they're all like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool, you know, judging your thing, and then there's one teacher in the back just laughing. Everyone's just like, what? What does it say? It's best you don't know. Just a corner. Oh, that's good enough. Well, I had a crash. Oh, okay, maybe the crash was something else then. What was it? Might have made the mouse jump to the side for some reason. Seems to happen every now and again. Uh-huh. Okay, so the middle segment is not being added correctly? Where's the middle segment?
Mono, I hate this character limit.
Well, I mean, you type really long messages, apparently. Usually people aren't writing full stories in the chat. Is it a different character limit with Twitch? I wouldn't know. I mean, I think I've had people write real long things in Twitch. Yeah. I don't know. Every now and again I get somebody spamming random characters to see what the chat thing says. I had one guy doing that for like 15 minutes or something or other, so that was fun. And I turned the chat off and he's like, no, we're gonna turn it back on, otherwise I'm not gonna follow you. I'm like, well, that's a hard decision.
Mono, Twitch has ads. Yeah, I'm on DLive.
I have ad block, so I don't notice.
Ads. I don't know how to spell it.
AD. No double D. Which is funny because I got a friend who calls himself Ad Lazy. AD Lazy. And literally he gets blocked by ad blocks on certain things like DLive. You can't watch his channel on DLive if you have an ad block. Like, that's not how ad block's supposed to work as far as I understand, but you turn it off and it just pops back up. There you go. Literally gets blocked. So, something weird's happening in the meta files. It's an ad block. It's a block ad.
Mono, on my phone it's quite hard to get ad blocks.
You can, there's a browser, Tor, no, not that one. Brave? Or something? I don't know, a few browsers just have built-in ad blocks. You just just press the stuff at the top corner and turn it on. They're always turned off by default. Yeah, browser you have probably has it. Just gotta have a look. Or you could just Google how to get ad block for a phone. Lots of people say that, oh yeah, you can't get ad block for a phone. I'm like, you clearly have never Googled it before. Never even looked. Yeah, it's like the YouTube on a phone. Like, why is that? I hate it how the phone does that.
Mono, the app is better than browser version.
Yeah, why? I hate the app versions of things. Like, the YouTube app sucks. Like, as that common thing everybody complains about, you gotta buy like the pro version of it and actually pay for it to get it so you can like turn the screen off and still have music playing. If you just play it through the web browser version though, it works perfectly fine. Like, you don't need to buy the premium version, but it's just trying to get it so it uses the browser version rather than the app version. So I can't remember exactly how you do it. Something along the lines of, you know, you turn your browser to desktop mode. And then you had to do some other special step, because as soon as it starts loading a YouTube thing, it will automatically open up the app. Let's stop that from happening. But yeah, then it just plays like normal YouTube on a PC. It doesn't care if you got your screen on or not. And it works perfectly fine. You can have ad block, you know, everything's all great. It's got the usual layout you're used to and
that
everything.
doesn't work for me. In YouTube, they fixed it.
What? That you can have the screen off, or that you can't use the web browser version. It was some weird trickery you had to do. Try to get flash files to work as well. That was a real pain. I had like a couple of months one time where I didn't have my computer just get repaired, and then it got repaired, and I had to set it back again, which is why it took over a month. But yeah, so I spent a long time trying to get flash things to work so I could play games on Newgrounds like I always used to. And I had like a keyboard and mouse connected to my phone, and I made this little cardboard stand to put the phone in. Fun times. Not really. I hate it. It almost broke me. I can't survive without my computer. There is just a computer. This is my reality, sitting in this chair. I am not one for the real world. Anyway, what am I doing? Middle segment's not being added.
I just use a hacked version on YouTube on my phone.
Yeah, but then you gotta get to like the side load things and all that sort of junk, if that's what you mean by hacked version. I'm assuming any other version wouldn't be accessible through the App Store, because they're like, yeah, you can't have that. I don't know, a lot of weird things like that. The App Store sucks, like the Google Play Store or whatever. Why is it so terrible? I just do not understand that in the slightest. Like, you can't search by things. Like, you could literally type in letter for letter the name of a thing, and it will not come up. Like, you're gonna be scrolling down to hundreds of pages to find that one, and it will just be showing all the relevant things with different names. It's like the YouTube search thing. Like, yeah, there's no categorization or anything like that. Like, you should be able to search, like, different categories of games or programs or something like that, typing in tags or something like that as well. And I don't care about how popular it is or how new it is. I want the one that I want. I don't understand why things don't have that. Same with Steam. Steam doesn't have that stuff. Like, you can search by tags, but it's not sorted by relevance. It's sorted by popularity. If what you're looking for is over a couple of months old, have fun trying to find that. Hate those things. Like, it'd be such a simple fix, they just don't do it. I don't get it. I guess it's like free advertising. The ads are the games themselves, which you don't want. And then they keep sneaking in extra games which have got nothing to do with what you're looking for. That really annoys me too. Yeah. I was even looking around one side to make my own things do it for me.
Mono, you have tags in Play Store, but they suck.
Yeah. You can't actually search by them though. I don't know, lots of things like that. Just by design. I hear Netflix is like that as well, and those sorts of things. You can't go past like the free video sites. They're always really good. Like, one anime site I used to watch on had like the perfect tag categorizing system, but that was before the fall of Mega Video. And oh my god, like, you could sort by the genre or whatever you want to call it, and it was great. Everything was there. The tags were just really well done. You just click on that genre, and there is all of the things that fit it. It's sorted alphabetically, by popularity, by views. It was just amazing. No other sites have ever done that since. Really annoying. And each of the videos as well, each of the series would have their tags, and you can click on the tags to see everything in that category. Why has that feature gone away? So many things have tags. At least you can see tags, but you can't click on them and you can't sort by them. They're just there for absolutely no reason. I don't understand that stuff. Trending things are weird. It's like they're trending based on what other people are doing, not what other people want. And most people just don't care either way, so, you know, they don't care. Yeah. But anyway, what am I doing? New edge, that's added by the EG. EG adds a new edge, and it should be added to that. maybe because, no, that wouldn't be doing it. So, something's going wrong with the clipping. There should be the clipping. And, well, that's this edge's ID, which should be a unique ID, depending on, well, it's the join together ones of those, so it will be unique. And it's saying that is equal to this is how I do that, right? Yep. So the clipping side, the ID, and its edge. And then we're connecting that. So maybe it's just not realizing that edge is finished. Seems to be correct. So this is the face, pseudo face ID gets added to the faces of this edge from the all edges. And that's the face, and this is the face, and that's to the other edge. Seems like this should all be correct. And if this whole area is running, then it must have found the space before, so this would have to be the second slice. 2 of these should be found.
Mono, I have an app on my phone that connects a fuck ton of pirate anime sites to my anime lists and there are no ads. It looks nice and works well.
Yeah. I was thinking about making a thing like that one time. So basically you just put I would have to go to one of the sites, the free sites, and just sort of check out how it works. And basically I'd create like a little bot thing that runs on a server, and it basically just clicks on each of the links. And so you just, usually they all have a list of all movies or whatever. Or at the very least a page which shows new things that have been added. And it would simply go to that, click on the link, go to where the video would be played, or to each of the alternative players, and you should be able to directly see where the video comes from. So wherever they're loading the video from. Yeah, it's probably not going to work, is it? Good old
Mono,
Australian
just
internet.
download AIM and it's almost perfect.
Yeah, all high quality and stuff. Yep. But anyway, basically the video that's played through the web browser usually isn't hosted on the web browser. And you can find the link to where the original video is coming from before it gets, like, sent through all the video players. So usually the ads and stuff like that are laid on top of the original video, which has no ads. It's just the raw video file. Basically, I'd go to find that link and just strip away everything else. And then I would have that direct link to be able to play on my one. And I'm technically not hosting anything. I'm not doing anything illegal or shady, you know. I've just got a website which just looks at other websites, you know. Nothing wrong with me. It also means you don't need to host anything or anything like that. So, yeah, that's one of the ways I could do it. The other way is I could embed the other site within my site, sort of a thing. So it's got like a custom overlay or something or other of the site that the video is actually in. And that way, according to them, the traffic's been literally redirected through their site, and I'm not stealing their data, their things like that. Whenever you load something, it's loading it from somebody else's server, or it's loading it from your own server. But this way, I'm not loading it from somebody else's server, because if my site gets popular, all of a sudden they'll see this big, influx of people loading resources from their server without them actually getting any of the views or the ad stuff, and then, they would crack down on it, block on any of that stuff from happening. But this way, they wouldn't care. They're getting views as if people were going directly through their site. So, nice and discreet, I guess. They got nothing to complain about. But if people didn't want ads and things like that, then I could have...
Mono,
a button to just strip all of that out. Yeah. But that's the idea. But again, it's down to UIs and stuff like that. I can make it all work, but I can't make it look good. And supposedly oh god, I completely forgot about that guy. Some weird guy, Egyptian pharaoh. He always says he was like related to pharaohs and stuff, and you know, he's actually a descendant of a god and all this other stuff, which is really hilarious because he didn't actually seem to know that much about Egyptian history and lore and all that sort of stuff, but he kept going on about it as if he was part of it all. It was a weird guy. Ended up marrying his sister, or his cousin. A cousin which he basically raised from a kid. It's weird. They had a DNA test to check that they were, you know, distant enough cousins to be able to get married. That guy was weird. But supposedly he was going to be designing the site for me. He was going all weird about programming. It's like, okay, if we're going to do this, I'll pay you, and you need to write at least 1,000 lines of code a day or something. I'm like, that's not how this works. Like, it'll probably only be a couple of hundred lines of code, and that's the entire thing done. Like, what? The amount of lines of code does not mean progress. Good code is done on the least lines about as possible. Least amount of lines as possible. Anyway. But at the same time, he claimed that he was a programmer and like an expert hacker and all this stuff, and he used to crack games and like crack games on PlayStation Online, like PlayStation 2 online stuff. Weird things like that. I'm like, yeah, you clearly just lied through your teeth right now. You haven't got a first clue about programming in the slightest. Yeah, that guy used to like talking big. Never actually knowing anything though. Claiming stuff to be his own. Oh man, that guy. He wanted to build a 3D animation company because he wanted to do 3D, but he knows absolutely nothing in the slightest about actually running a company. So he ended up quitting his job and sold like all of his assets and things because like his parents were apparently really rich and they bought him like shops and stuff that they would just run themselves and he would just get rent from them. Didn't have to lift a finger. He was just basically set for life. So he went and sold all of that stuff to get a whole lot of money to start his business and things, and he rents like a place to set it all up and things, but oh man, then he wanted to buy like thousands of dollars of motion capture equipment and all of this sort of stuff, and I'm like, you haven't got the first clue about what to do. Like, he just wanted to be himself, basically. He would be running absolutely everything, and he would just get lots of people wanting to get his animations and things. But his animations were very subpar. They were not high level at all. Like, I don't think many people at all would want to hire these things. And then with the full motion capture, like the whole studio thing with like green screens and cameras and arrays around the room and stuff like that, so he could have the morph suits or whatever. He hadn't done a single bit of acting in his entire life and never even tried. I'm like, you won't be able to pull that off. You need training. You need to do like acting and things. Like, can you even do like a backflip or something?
Why do I imagine Indian call center worker right now?
Yeah, except he was supposedly in Egypt or wherever, or descendant from, I don't know. But yeah, it was hilarious. And I'm like, what are your projected incomes of this business? Like, how much do you think you'll be making a year? Like, how much do you think this is going to cost you a year? Because he wanted to buy, like, brand new computers for thousands of dollars and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, oh man. You want to start a business, the first step you should do is just make yourself a damn portfolio. You could do that with everything you currently have right now. Reach the limits of what you currently got with the current, like, level up your skills till you require these expensive things to get better. Not just get them because you want them and all that sort of stuff, you know? You can quite easily start a business right now and just look for people who want to hire you to do animations. You don't need the expensive equipment. Oh man. Then he got married to his cousin, and she's just put a stop to that right up. Like, nope, you ain't allowed in your computer room anymore. You gotta go out. You gotta get a real job. Never saw him again. I think I saw her once after that, actually. Came in. Said it was the first time he's been on his computer in months. In like a year and a half or something or other. She wouldn't let him anywhere near it. Because it was very clear. It's like, she must have been pretty smart, because it was very clear to her that it wasn't going to be making him any money anytime soon. Anyway, what was I rambling about? I think that was supposed to be some sort of a moral to the story.
Tag, incest.
Well, technically, they were descendant enough according to the DNA test that it was acceptable. You know, they were like twice removed or whatever it was. The very edge of acceptable. But yeah, it was like, from what it sounds like, it was all an arranged marriage. He didn't really have a choice in it, but he didn't really not like it. You know, he went with it. So he lived in one of those sorts of families. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. So in the middle of starting all of this thing up, he supposedly got like a proper job and built a game. At least this is what he claimed. So he had finally was able to release a game that he had made entirely himself. And I'm like, what? Okay, start again. Did you make this game? And he's like, yeah, this is my game. It's like, but did you make it? Are you the one who created it, programmed it, modeled it all? You planned it out? He's like, oh no, this other guy did all that stuff, but it's my game. Like, okay, who is this other guy? When did you meet him? Like, so basically what he claimed was he had been building a game for years and it's finally ready to be released. But what he actually meant was he just met a guy a couple of weeks ago who said he would be willing to let him work on his game with him to help him do stuff. Willing to let him help him make his game. So he had absolutely nothing to do with it in the slightest. About all he had done is talk to a guy with the game who said that he could help him with it. And that was that. He hadn't actually done anything, he didn't really know anything about the game, he didn't even know what the game was. But he immediately declared that he'd been working on a game for years and it was his game and he made it. Like, no. Yeah, pretty much everything that he ever does is some sort of a claim like that. So, as far as I understand, in reality, this is just a guy that's been living in his bedroom in his parents' house where his parents moved out and he stayed there, and they had just been giving him money and he hadn't worked really a day in his life. Like, he says that he's worked as in the military, and he worked as a bodyguard, and he worked as... I think there was one other thing he worked at. I'm like, yeah, right, man, you know you've never done a single damn one of these things. You maybe just like turned up on a day to be hired as a bodyguard, and never went there another day again after you didn't get the phone call back. But there's no way he worked as a bodyguard or any of these other things he claims. He goes on about like, he was so good as a bodyguard, he started his own bodyguarding business and people would hire him and stopped hiring the companies that they used to hire that he was originally working for and all of these other things. I'm like, you have very clearly never done a business, like started a business or worked a day in your life, let alone all this other crazy stuff. Say more likely what happened is it was a friend of the family who was just giving you a job as a bodyguard, and he was supposed to be hired through a company, but that didn't work out, so he just hired him directly. There was never actually anything that required guarding, it's just, you know, to give him a job. Something like that. I don't know. Guy was crazy. Well, now he's got his cousin to whip him into shape, I guess. Oh man. He sounded so happy the day that he came in. He's like, oh yeah, I'm getting married, yeah. It's like, to my cousin, and we're just like, what? Oh man. Knew we shouldn't have said that after he said that. Anyway, what am I doing? So, supposedly this is all working. What in the world is this information? I got a feeling that this is all not what it's supposed to be. Oh, that guy. Wonder if I'll ever see him again. The old hangouts I used to be are pretty much dead now.
Mono, sounds like someone who used to be a friend.
Like for you? Yeah, he really needed some real talk. He had a very sheltered life. Yeah, he was sort of like one of those. Nah, yeah, he was just a really sheltered life. It's a common thing you see with like really religious families and stuff like that as well. I know another guy that's like that, really sheltered, without all of the like pathological lying stuff. But it's so crazy people that live sheltered lives like that. They just really do not understand how the world works. One guy in particular who goes on about his brother knowing all of these things. Like, oh yeah, my brother works at IT.
Mono, for me, but with smaller things.
Yeah. There's one guy I know, his brother works at IT, and he's always going on about his brother knowing all of these crazy things. And they are just unbelievably wrong. There's no edges. Apparently it's not detecting the other slice. Okay. Yeah, really dumb things. Stuff like latency does not create lag with internet. Like, your ping does not matter. What matters is your download speed. So if you have a low download speed, you'll have lots of lag. Like, but if you have a low ping, you will not have lots of... You won't have the lag. Weird stuff like that. It's just like, what? That's what his brother says, and he works in IT, so he knows what he's talking about. Okay. So that should be slicing entirely through there, regardless of if it's within this area. Oh, I guess that's because the entire shape is outside the field of view. There's no way it could be inside, so we're not worrying about it. Where this one, there's no way that edge could be overlapping that. Okay, I see what my problem is. It's this condition here. Yeah. I don't know, that's one of the minor things though, but he will just argue that stuff to death. Just... I can't even remember any other examples of it. Like, he was modeling in creating a terrain for a job that he was doing and wasn't getting paid for because he was supposed to be getting paid for it, but he said, nah, I don't want to be paid for this. Like, what? Wait, what? Okay. But you could have been getting paid, but you chose not to be paid. Why doesn't that one cut through? Because it's entirely outside. Yeah, and he was modeling around in ZBrush, modeling this terrain for a map that he was making. Okay, that seems to be working. And he came into the hangout one day and he was asking about like where to buy new brushes because he ran out of brushes to use in ZBrush. It's like, what? You ran out of brushes in ZBrush. You know those unlimited supply, right? You know, you can just use them as much as you want. It's not like the brush only works for 500 strokes or something, like what? And it's like, yeah, well I found this cool pack and it's got some really cool brushes in it, but it's so expensive. It's like, what? But they're not a limited supply. So I still to this day do not understand that in the slightest, what exactly he meant by that. But it seemed like he only used a brush a certain amount of times, and then he would never again use that brush. And then he wanted other brushes to do different things, like different textures and stuff like that. But he didn't realize you could make your own, And even when told you could make your own, it's just a black and white image, you know, the texture on it, he still would not do it. And he definitely would not accept the answer of, you don't need to make brushes, the default ones can do literally anything. You know how to use them. Oh my god. He's got really strict parents one day, and I was like, oh, you should just move out of home. And he's like, what? I can't afford to move out of home. It costs like a fortune. I'm like, oh, you can... it costs like $100 for renting a room or whatever. He's like, oh, renting? No, why would you rent? You just buy a house. It's like, no, what? He didn't understand that you could rent places. And that's a normal thing to do. He's like, if you move out of home, you must have to buy a house. Because that's cheaper in the long run. And I'm like, well, yeah. A long run being, what, like 30 years or something, depending on the place? You ain't gonna be moving out to a place for 30 years. You're gonna be moving all over the place. You know, going where the work takes you and all those things. So $100 a day, a week or whatever, is well cheaper. Anyway, enough about ranting about other people. I could do that all day. So many dumb people on the internet. These people actually exist. You know, is as dumb as you feel on a day when you can't work something out, just know that there's somebody who dreams of having your intelligence at that moment. You know, you could be so much worse than you are. And that goes for pretty much anyone. There's always a guy that's dumber than you. I wonder who the world's dumbest guy. I guess it would just be like a baby or something. It's like a rock. Although I feel like a rock would be smarter than some people. I mean, look at this rock. It's like text and things. I can play games on this rock. This rock's got like AIs and things on it. A rock that's tricked into thinking. Anyway, what am I doing? Turning that back on. Boop. Fresh. Yep. Another person joined. And it crashed. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I should probably get rid of all of these random logs around the place. 4445. Oh, that's the one that I want. Never mind. Uh, 0050. Everyone's fine. 4420. Now, what are the other logs? What's this one? 4467. What? Like down here. There you are. Yeah, here. And 4461. Go away. Okay, error is on 4420. Zero of undefined.
Mono, someone in my class pretend to be a master hacker man, but after a month or so he said all the stuff he was doing and the stuff was...
And the stuff was... So it's probably the eye. So something went wrong with this edge. No, I don't want to log every edge. That edge, and what is ID?
Mono, using Lucky Patcher on mobile games while using YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. Oh man. I think I remember... I mean, I feel like it's a thing that happened, but I don't actually remember. Like someone saying they hack games and things like that, but what they actually like, and then me becoming all interested because I thought they were using like Cheat Engine or something like that, but what they were actually doing was just cheating, just typing in cheats, back when cheat codes were a thing. I used to hack into stuff using Cheat Engine all the time.
An Aptoide to download paid games for free.
Yeah. I used to use Cheat Engine to, like, there was a few games where you could download free trials, but the free trial was actually the full game, so if you could finish the full game within that time limit, then you would have finished the full game. But, when they started up, like Peggle? No, I don't think I ever got Peggle to work. It was back in those sorts of days. But they have the timer there that would show, like, you have this amount of time, continue or whatever, and then you'd play the game or run the program.
I used to do that too.
Yeah, so I'd hack in by typing in the time, like, as precisely as I could, and then searching, and then quitting it, reopening it, typing in the new time, quitting it, reopening it, typing in the new time. Well, actually, no, you can't quit and reopen. I don't know how I did that. Maybe it was just only the timer was actually ticking. Yeah, and then I would narrow down exactly where it was keeping that timer, and then I would just set it to be like some really big number or press the freeze button, and then the timer would stop. And then there you go. I used to do that all the time. Oh, it got really annoying though. I remember the Peggle one, the program would only be open for 15 minutes or something like that. I think it was the same with Plants vs. Zombies. Basically after 15 minutes or something, or 10 minutes even, the game would just quit. Because you only had the free trial version. But you could just reopen it back up and continue where you left off, like at the beginning of the thing. So as long as you could finish the mission before it quit, you could then just continue. And I played through the entire game like that. I think it was Plants vs. Zombies. I don't remember. No, it was definitely Peggle. Yeah, it was Peggle. Plants vs. Zombies had something, though. Oh my god. Fun days. And then I discovered, like, Flash games and stuff like that, how you could download those things. Oh man. Oh no, then I discovered... Flash games was before then. Then I discovered emulators. Oh my god. I used to go to the library, which is the only place I had internet other than school, and I could just download an entire game in an hour before it cuts you off. You could only have an hour of internet a day or something like that. I think it might have even only been half an hour. But if I was lucky, I could get an extra half an hour somehow. I don't remember how. But yeah, I had some special downloading program so I could resume downloads. And yeah, I'll just go there every day and download like a PlayStation game. It was crazy. And then at school, it would take like 20 minutes, but then I wouldn't be able to download anything for the rest of the day. And it was like, what? In 20 minutes, I could download an entire game for like the PlayStation 1. It's crazy. All these games that I only ever dreamed of being able to play because, I just didn't have access to it. I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to buy it because there just wasn't any place to sell in the game. But I could always, like, the demo discs and stuff, I could play the demo and I'm like, oh. One game in particular called, like, Tumbi or something. Loved to play that demo. I played it hundreds of times over. Yeah. And then when I found out about this, 20 minutes, there you go. I have downloaded this game that I dreamed of playing, like the full version of, so many times. I was like, oh my god. That was the golden age, Then when I finally actually got internet, oh boy. All of the animes were suddenly unlocked. I could watch everything I'd ever want to watch, play every game I ever wanted to play, watch every movie that I didn't have access to and all that. That weren't at the video shops or whatever. Oh man. Which sort of sucked. Because I remember thinking, like, I could literally just die right now and I wouldn't even mind. Like, life is complete. And I remember thinking about that for a while, like, wait, that's actually not a good thing. That sort of means that from now on, life is downhill. It's only gonna get worse from here. So, yeah. Yep, how's that? Finally living at home. Not having to go to school. Staying up late, playing games all night, watching movies all night as much as I wanted. There was no limit. Didn't have to like wait till I could go to the video shop again or save up money or some sort of a thing like that. Just download the next one or play the next one, whatever. There you go. Hardly a break. Just eat nothing but candy. No bedtime. Golden age. Yep. Anyway, what am I doing? Untitled, that's its ID. So apparently something wasn't added to all edges? Wait, that's not an edge. That's an edge? Oh yeah. From 2 to between 0, 1. So it should have been added right there. Musicals. Interesting. Is it backwards? No. Why does this not exist? The ID is the correct way around. Okay, what is all edges? I don't think anything gets deleted from all edges. Is it somehow misplaced itself? Oh. Got sub edges for my sub edges sub edge. Yep, that's not there. We're looking for a 0, 1, 2 or a 1, 0, 2. How is that possible? How could you have not been added? Wait.
Mono, I just live on instant noodles and way too much coffee. 8 to 12 cups a day and play games, watch videos, but go to school. Imaginary sad face.
That is literally too much coffee. You know, it's actually a common thing for people to die from coffee overdoses, caffeine overdoses. Like, that's a literal thing. That it's very common. Supposedly. You should really stop that as soon as absolutely possible. That is dangerous levels of caffeine. Like, I would say 4 cups was bad. Like, 3 cups is bad. 4 cups is real bad. And then you doubled that. Oh boy. Like, even energy drinks and stuff like that. Most energy drink cans say, like, the recommended serving size is half the can. Like, that's more than you should drink a day. Like, that's the absolute limit of what you should drink a day. If you drink anything else with caffeine, then you're already above the safety limits of how much caffeine you should drink. So yeah. I got like one friend who was drinking like 6 cans of energy drinks a day, complaining about headaches and all these other problems. And it's like, well, duh. But it's okay now, he's got off energy drinks. Now he only has caffeine pills. I'm like, you know that's no better, right?
Cups is what I drink in the morning before I go to school.
That ain't right though, man. You should, yeah. I stay away from any things like that, because the other problem with it is you sort of become like addicted to it. So, like, you can't not have that sort of stuff. Like, you have to have the drinks to feel as you felt before. But the other problem is caffeinated things like that, they use your current supply of energy.
Mono, I get headaches if I don't drink coffee for a day.
Well, that's because you're having withdrawals, probably. Literally addicted to it. But yeah, caffeine and stuff uses the energy that's already within your body, just now rather than later. So you'll be more tired the more caffeine you have. You'll have a slight amount of awakeness right now, but then later on you'll be well more tired than you would otherwise be. So if you literally stop drinking caffeine, you would probably find that the way you were before you drank caffeine, other than the first few times, is, you know, the same as how you currently are when you're constantly drinking caffeine. Once your body, like, redistributes your energy throughout the day sort of thing, you'll actually have more energy. Energy drinks and stuff like that are sort of better because they have all the sugar and things, and sugar is basically energy that your body can just immediately use, basically, simply put. So yeah, an energy drink would give you more energy than caffeine. Caffeine just makes you use your energy now. You just burn out, as they say. But really, you only need those things if you need a sudden burst of energy or something like that. You shouldn't be drinking those things for any other reason, really, you know? And if that's a common thing that you would have to do, then you shouldn't have to be doing that. That's just my input. So yeah, I stay away from any sort of drugs, because I'd like them too much. That's what I say. What am I doing? Yeah. 201. So why did that never go through here? No, because it's not going through here.
Mono, coffee is better than energy drinks if you drink it black.
Well, it's still caffeine, though.
That has been.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, caffeine uses your current supply of energy, where energy drinks also give you more energy in the form of sugar. But again, it's weird. I don't know, the amount of energy a person has is pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, I started walking into the city every day if possible, unless I'm nocturnal at the time, which I should have been going to the city for the last 2 days. Or 3 even. I keep getting distracted by programming and ranting.
Mono, there is also caffeine in energy drinks.
Yeah, but it also provides you with the sugar as well. So, as I said, the sugar sort of supplements the energy that you're just currently draining. If that even is how that works. I'm just assuming, really. I haven't actually seen any research things on it, just a whole lot of hearsay. But, one guy in particular, good YouTuber guy, I wonder if he's got new videos about that. I haven't watched him in a while. But he's one of those guys on YouTube that started off as like a religious debunker guy, and then he's just debunking dumb stuff like Kickstarters about energy things. Like, there was a popular thing going around for a while that was like a rebreather thing that you could swim underwater forever with, that it would suck out oxygen from the surrounding water.
Mono, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I don't know, it's weird. Nobody really knows how the stuff works. It's actually weird how little people know about the body, as far as I'm aware. But, yeah, there was this rebreather thing. It would let you breathe underwater, but, yeah, this guy did like this whole series on it, like debunking all of the actual science that would have to be a thing for this to work. And it was something crazy, like it would require like an unbelievably massive amount of power, like a small like fusion generator in it or something like that to maybe work. And it requires like centrifugal forces, which were just, you know, no material would be able to withstand and all that sort of junk. I don't know. I can't remember the exact details, something along those lines. But he goes through all the science and things. But by creating these videos, debunking a whole lot of stuff, even, you know, Elon Musk's Hyperloop. Why the Hyperloop is an absolute garbage thing that is never going to happen. And how dumb it makes him, like Elon Musk, sound that he's even seriously trying to have this be a thing, which, you know, you see how well that turned out. Many problems that you just don't really think about unless you actually think about it. And yeah, well, this guy does that. He does all the math and the science behind what actually needs to go into this for it to work. You know, it technically would work, but to actually build it is another thing. Like stuff like the one that they wanted, it would, because it's just a big metal tube, which has to be airtight, in the, like, the temperature difference from day to night would make the metal tube expand like 5 football fields in length. Like, an unbelievably huge distance. So how would you be able to compensate for that? Like, you would have to have movable airtight seals at many different segments, like many different lengths along the segments of the thing, or whatever. And every single one of those has to be an absolute airtight seal always, otherwise the entire thing would fall apart. Like, if this thing got a hole in it, everybody inside of the Hyperloop would just die. if it got a break in the seal, because you'd have this big pressure wave of air rushing through it at the speed of sound through a vacuum, and I guess just at the speed of sound through the air, whatever, I don't know, whatever it is. And yeah, you got the train coming towards that big pressure wave. When those two things hit, it's basically going to be hitting a cement wall. It's going to destroy it. Anybody on that thing is just going to die. Even if you had the trains at a stop, it's going to have some serious damage done to it, and the people aren't going to be very, very good on the inside. They live there very well. Anyway, but the point of it is, through all these videos, this guy's made a whole lot of money through ad revenue and stuff like that, and then he's put this money into getting like scientific equipment and stuff to be able to test stuff. Like, he's actually a scientist guy, and he's put out papers and things like that. He was doing experiments with like liquid nitrogen and super cooled fluids and I don't know, whatever it was. Some weird stuff that happens. And one of the experiments he wants to do is seeing exactly how long it takes for the body to metabolize sugar, and what sort of like effects that has. Because apparently there's not really anything out about how long it takes for the body to metabolize certain things, which, you know, different things, different people, different things, different amounts.
Mono, at least it'll be good for overpopulation.
Death Train. The other thing about the Hyperloop is, like, if any one of the people sabotaged it, everybody in the loop would die. So you would only really have one train in the loop at a time. And the airport security, like, the airport security would be a joke compared to, like, the security to go on the Hyperloop. So it might take, like, an hour-long trip and turn it into, like, 15 minutes, but it's probably going to take you 3 hours to get onto that thing. So, all of the security you got to go through. Like, airports alone, usually you're in the security longer than you're on the plane at either side, depending on where you're going and all that. But yeah, so he's got like a mass spectrometer which could I can't remember what exactly was missing. I think he's got the mass spectrometer thing at the moment, which I don't understand how that thing works at all. But it's a mass spectrometer that he could basically breathe into at real time and see what the makeup of his breath is. And then he was going to eat, or he was going to do something or rather with, like, eat or breathe in, or I guess it wouldn't be. He was going to eat some sort of a chemical which the body metabolizes exactly the same. It's no different to any other thing. Like, it doesn't tell a difference. But it has like a unique marker within it that he would be able to see through the mass spectrometer. So how long after he eats it does it take for it to start coming out in his breath after it goes into his bloodstream and stuff like that and gets carried into his breath? Yeah. Anyway. Stuff like that. And then, like, how much of it would he be metabolizing and stuff? By how much was it did he originally consume, and, you know, when does it start being picked up, and in what sort of amounts? You can work out all this stuff. And then what happens if he's just, you know, not doing anything? What happens if he's doing like heavy physical exercising and all that sort of stuff? Like, how does that affect everything? I don't know. Pretty cool stuff. Like, he did a video a while ago where he was exercising on an exercise bike with a thermal camera on him. Like, what exactly does the body do with excess heat to cool itself down? And it was pretty crazy. Like, he starts warming up and up and up, and then all of a sudden he starts getting real cold compared to how warm he just was. And like, all of the heat flows into your arms and legs. Man, it was pretty crazy seeing it like carry through the veins and just like blast these, like his arms just turned like white. And especially the palms of his hands, because when you're moving around doing exercises, your arms and legs are getting like a whole lot of airflow. So it's like a cooling radiator in a computer. And they have the largest like surface area and stuff like that, especially your hands with your fingers and stuff like that. So that's where your body dumps all of its heat to be radiated out. Cool down. But it was weird watching it because like it's at a certain point that all of a sudden it changes and the cooling system turns on basically. Anyway, pretty cool. It's called Viced Rhino. Viced Rhino. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Viced Rhino, yeah. Oh wait, no, Viced Rhino is the other guy, sorry. That's just, he just does religious things. Who is he again? I want to know now, then. He's been mixed into my massive amounts of tabs. Thunderfoot, there he is. Yeah, this guy. That's interesting. It's always funny watching the videos about people hating it. Some people do responses to his videos, and then he responds to the responses and stuff like that. It's funny. Yeah, a whole lot of stuff about Elon Musk. All these crazy things. Yeah, fun times. That thing. Food scanner thing, which can apparently tell you what the composition of your food is, and even how ripe things are and all sorts of stuff like that by just scanning it. It's basically a mass spectrometer thing. Wait, no, it was using infrared light to do spectral analysis. That's what it was, of what the material was, what it's made up out of. And it, usually they're big massive machines, and there's a little handheld version of it now, which people doing Kickstarters of. And it's just complete trash. Like, it started off okay, but they weren't going to meet what they wanted, so basically it's just a little online Bluetooth device thing which syncs with your phone, and through the spectral analysis it can generally somewhat correctly tell what exactly you're scanning, and then it just looks up an online database. And basically just tells you what would be on the side of the can or whatever, side of the packaging. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Had all these spokesmen and stuff like that. I think that was the one Linus Tech Tips did a thing on. I don't know, it was one Linus Tech Tips did a thing on, and through the video it looked like he was promoting it and saying how amazing it was and it really worked and all that. But it actually, like, was just a complete scam. Yeah. And Linus Tech Tips did a video replying to it like, yo, there's this guy, he goes around just making fun of people like this, you know? It's like, we didn't actually support this thing, it was just whatever. I don't know. And then the ads in Linus Tech Tip became better. So that's cool. Anyway, what am I doing? Damn it! Why do I keep ranting? Problem, what am I looking at? So it's 2S01. What is that? That's not even a thing. We can't have a 2 to sub 01. Because the sub 01 is between 0 and 1. How could there be a 2? So what the world happened there? that's a 2 on its own, not a S2, which there shouldn't be an S2, there's only 0 and 1. I've got the feeling this might have flipped around at some point somehow. If this was backwards, that's what it would be showing. Which is a problem. Well, I mean, that is sort of just how that thing works. If I flip that around, it doesn't work. Unless this is another one of those magical things. Where's magical things? Yeah. Nope. What? Sub 120. Okay. But what? That means neither of these existed?
Mono, Pavel Zadrozniak is someone who made a machine that uses the sound floppy drives make to play songs. It's quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I saw that. I used to like one in particular I used to listen to all the time for no particular reason. But it was going around Facebook and stuff all the time. I can't remember what song it was anymore. Yeah, it's got like a whole lot of extra things. Back then it was just the floppy disks and I think like a printer or something. Or the base. Now it's like hundreds of them. What was it on? Okay, is there perhaps an S012? Weird. Where is this going wrong and why? Damn it. A sub 01 is connected to a sub 01 sub 12. So why not? But yeah, a 2 sub 01 is just not a thing. How is that coming out as a thing? What's the log? There's the other line, okay. Is there a... What is verts? That's face verts. The face verts is not correct. There we are. So where am I adding things to the face verts? Why, so face verts is cleared. Then this is...
Mono, Toto Africa, country roads don't stop me now, one of those.
Hang on, I'm just gonna go get my chocolate. We're back. Back. Picked it up ages ago and left it in the kitchen. Um. Where am I at? So that bird is added, that bird is added, and that bird is added. Uh-huh. Perhaps this needs to be inverted? Because that being inverted wouldn't make any difference at all to the first lot of stuff to go through. But then again... yeah. So 0, 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 0. That is going the way that I expect it to go. Zero to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 0. And then 2 to 0? What? 2 to 0. And then 2 to 0, 1. Okay. Hello, poster join for free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Damn it, what's happening? Let's draw a picture. So 0, 1, 2, because I do it in a different direction every time I redraw. So the first one's going through, and apparently it's all working fine. We need to know when the start of this happens. Start of what happens? Start of that. Start. That spines the edges. When we have two edges at the same face, we now know that that's a complete thing. Remove the face, substitute two subfaces. Subfaces are SF. And what are we doing? So let's just log the everything. What is ID? Which I guess is in that, whatever. Don't worry about that one. So we want to know what ID is there. We want to know what ID is here. And we want to know what it is here. And we want to know what it is there. So let's add an extra thing to this one. New. So this is adding a new edge. What's going on? Message on my phone.
Mono, gonna leave for I guess about 15 minutes. I'll be right back after.
Well, if you say so. I thought. Alright. So if I slice through that way, we should see everything as expected, which apparently is. Oh, did I just crash it? I did the extra slice, but didn't do anything. Weird. Didn't crash though. Damn it! Stop doing that when I press escape. So this we got 0, 1, 2. Let's draw it that way. 0, 1, 2. What are we? Why are you still running? Stop that. Stop. So we start. We are looking at between 0 and 1. So between 0 and 1 is the first edge. And then we have a subpoint that is 0 between 0 to between 0 and 1. So we have that edge there. And then we have that a second time. 2, 7, and 3, 7. Well, if those are both the same ID, why do I have them as different IDs? Apparently that's not needed. Okay. I should say like this one's the middle one. Whatever. So we have a middle point which is 0 to 0, 1. So midway between 0 and 1 is 0. And then we have a 1 to 2. Wait, hang on. So this should be split into two faces. One of the faces knows about this edge. And then we have a 1 to... oh yeah, then the other face also knows about that edge. That's not right. This is supposed to be the opposite eye, I think. Okay, well, I stays as I then. Wherever I happens to be. So that's why there would be two of these. And that one's flipped. Okay. Should be all the eyes. Yep. Alright, try again. Let's add an M. 0 and 1. Whoop. Refresh. Oh, tab to the right thing. Refresh. Okay. So now we have, let's start 0 to 1, and then we have the, I suppose it should be F0 or whatever. The first phase 0 to 0, 1, and then the second phase is 1 to 0, 1. Would be that. Then we have 1 to 2. 1 to 2 has a middle face, so yeah, it should know of this one knows of that, they both know of this, and then this one knows of that. Wait, did they both know of that? Hang on. So this is this, we edges, vertices, vertices are this middle piece. Yep, so this middle piece knows about that, that knows about this. This is a new edge. The face's edge knows about that, and the edge knows about the face. Yep. So then we are 1, 2, so that would be added to this face's information. Then 1 to 1, 2, 1 to 1, 2, so this knows about that, and knows about this, and the other one knows about that. And then 2 to 1, 2 would be this side. So supposedly there's going to be an edge in there later on. Oh, there we go, new edge. So from 0, 1 to 1, 2, so 0, 1 and 1, 2's middle faces would be a new edge there. And that new edge should be added to both faces. Yeah, this knows about both of those. Does it add the vertices? Oh, the vertices have already been added. Okay. So both faces know about this, and then we should be doing 2 to 0. We do not have a 2 to 0. Oh, 2 to 0. What? Okay. Yeah, 2 to 0. Which, well, this one knows about that. It didn't have a middle face, so it didn't need the sub thing. And then this new edge was added. Okay. Which seems weird. I feel like 2-0 should have happened first. I mean, this should have happened and then 2-0, but okay. Oh, I guess this is outside of there. Okay, yep. So there we go. We should have a face here, and we got a face there. So with that supposedly working, does that mean it just magically works? That bugs out a little bit. And that still crashes. Okay. So, does the top one work? Same thing again. Oops. Oh. So, 0 to 1. And 0 1 has a sub thing. Do I have an else? Yeah. And that is working the way it should be. So 0 to sub 1 means we got that there. So we know about this edge, we know about that edge. And then 1 to 2 does not have a sub part, so that's all 1. And then 2 to 0, 2 to 0, 2 to 0 has a sub thing, so 2 to 2, 0 would be that, and 0 to 2, 0 would be that. And then we have a new edge going from 0, 1 to 2, 0, 0, 1 to 2, 0, which should be along there. Seems like it should be fine. Okay. So the side and the top both work. So why do they not both work together? So looking at those origin points, something's gone wrong with the faces. So these new faces should be what? How do we know what edges? Because we're doing it by edges, not by faces. So what's happening? The edges are what? I mean, this thing is what's supposed to be the magical thing. The other ones would already know everything. These are... no. We're not adding these edges. Okay. And we are not telling them that they've already been checked in this dimension. Sure. That just works like that. That works like that. And then I suppose we do this. So this would be that. Wait. That 0, which I suppose would be that. But we could just say that thing's 0. That thing's 0, clipping That thing 0, clipping 1. And this thing 2. And this thing 2, which would be this vertex C and that vertex C, or wait. When are we creating this? I mean, we're creating this one here, but when are we creating this one? I'll post a join for free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So according to this place should currently exist, but where is it being told to? Here? Oh, okay. So that's what would be doing it. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, none of that is needed, and you've already been told that you're checked. So that should just go away. I'm not getting any errors with this stuff, so this place must exist, which means it must have been created, and it would have to have been here. So this would have found the middle point, created it, defined it, assigned it. Middle point's got its own clip and things, and then V1 and V2 already existed. We just add those clip and things to it. We exclude it from running in this dimension. Well, if that's not the problem. Well, what does the thing say? Start. So we're checking from 0 to 1. 0 to 1 had a mid one, so from 0 to halfway through we have that. And then we have the other side of that. And then we checked 1 to 2. 1 to 2 had a... Wait, there would be 2 of these starts, but no, start is all the way at the very top, so we'll be going through all the dimensions. Yeah. Don't really have a separation between the dimensions, but it'll do. Damn it. Yep, so 0 to 1, boop-a-doop. Yeah, start should start. So, wait, that doesn't have enough information? Whatever. So go to the between, then 1 to 2, 1 to 2's got in between, so 1 to 1, 2, and 2 to 1, 2, so boop-de-boop. And then we do the 2-0, 2-0's got it in between, so... No, it doesn't have an in between, so apparently that one went straight up. And then we have the between 0, 1 and 1, 2. So 0, 1 and 1, 2 would be there. Okay. Where's the other dimension? So apparently the other dimension never found a match from 2 faces. So the faces are not being added correctly to the edges. So this face should be removed from everything because we are replacing this face with now these 2 faces instead of that one. So we remove that one. And then we're looping through all of the vertices that made up that one face. And combining them together to find what the edges would be from that vertex IDs. This should be their IDs. Oh, that's gonna be wrong, isn't it? This needs to be Vert's order now. Which means that one's gonna work. And they should be in the correct order. Otherwise that would have been messing up real bad. Okay, perhaps that was the problem. Perhaps. Crashes. What? What? Bird of undefined. 4447. What? How did that go but nothing else went? Apparently this didn't have a leg? Oh, cause that's not this is just that directly now. Surprised they didn't tell me that other error then. Oh, that was still uploading. Okay. What are you? An empty array. Okay. What? I guess because that's coming from like a raw initial version of the face. Well, that's going to be added to the import. Doop doop doop. What is this? Let's order. Here we are. Nope. So having that extra slice seems to be doing no more or less to this area of stuff. It's simply like the extra dimension isn't happening. Maybe I'm reusing a variable which is immediately dropping it out the other side, but no. That can't be the case because we can see that it's doing the green dots. Green areas. So the green areas are where vertices is being sliced within this thing, so that has to have been running, which means it must have ran with the other dimension. So that's not happening? So it's not adding the space to the edges' faces. Oh, I know that's not a thing. You are being added? That subsegment, that subsegment, or that entire segment? And if a new segment's created, or when a new segment's created, it's also added there. So I know that you should be added correctly. Okay. What? What's this? This should be all instanced information, so it should have the newest version of everything. Start. Roll a 7. Okay. And that should be the everything. Okay, so that's subsegment. That subsegment has two faces, which is the sub-0 and sub-1 of the door 0, 0 face. Yeah. But you're on a 0, which is entirely what you should be on. But when I do this, well, you'd still be on a 0, wouldn't you? Hang on. Are things being removed from this list?
Mono,
I don't think so.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So, well, let's refresh it. Okay, so 0 to 1, 0. 0 to S01, what are you? You're nothing. So that's not clipping with anything. And this isn't clipping with anything, which is entirely correct. So that one and that one should both be inside the field of view. That one, you know, depends, but whatever. Okay. But when I do that, now you shouldn't be. You should be off the top, which is a 1, so 0 to 0, 1 is here. Because that segment would have been added. So, okay. Apparently they're both off the top, that's weird. I mean 0, yeah. But 0, 1, no. Why does that one say that? I mean, you should have your clipping assigned here, depending on what this thing says. Just from the edge slide. Clipping was not defined beforehand. And that's how that's being added. Oh, no. not that it's a problem, but that should be a 0, 0. That green point is within the field of view. It just seems to be copying whatever that one is. Could be a bad thing, could be a good thing, I don't know. But that ain't the problem right now. So with that thing being there, we do know that this is going to be sliced in that direction because 1. This has been added to the checked lists and checked F. Okay. Both of those get reset at the next dimension. So that's that side, and that's the top side. So, yeah, this would have been reset. It now no longer knows it as a checked thing. Or that one. So, when it does that dimension, it should be getting cut. Which it is. You can see the green dot. But, it did not know of the face. You have no faces. So 0S01 should have been done in here. 0S01. That would have been that log. And to this thing's 3. This thing's ID is equal to this. So this face was inserted into this edge's faces. Which should have been that, which is empty. 0S01. 0S01. All edges is this array. Edge ID.
Mono, another update on calculator dating sim. First 3 frames are created. I do everything in math class after I'm done with my homework.
Nice. Can you post like a screenshot? What is the quality of these images? I want to know. Because I'm imagining some really fancy, high quality, amazing looking piece of art. So what's the problem here? No, that's not what that is, that's what this thing is. So that's what I'm logging here. And that's doing all of that stuff. But this thing's edge is what? Are you not an instance?
Mono, 94 by 62 I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty big. And long? 94 wide or 94 high? I would assume it would be wide, because calculators are usually wider than higher, but okay. Unless you're only using a portion of the screen. But still, that's a lot of pixels. I was expecting more like, you know, I mean 30 would be a lot. Probably like 15 by something.
Mono, wide.
Yeah. I always think up and down first, don't know why. I think that's how maps work. On a map, it's always up and down first or something. How far up, then how far across. I don't know, I used to do a lot of mapping things back in the day. Flying around in my dad's airplane. I was gonna find where we're currently at. Oh man. I mean, that was sort of fun. But at the same time, I think my dad was just asking me to do it just because I was sitting there real bored. Like, hey, let's find where we are. I've been looking around at all the environment around and trying to triangulate our position from where I think we are to where we should be on a map, judging what direction we're going and where we were on the previous map, how long we've been flying, checking out the landmarks, be like, oh, we're here, right there. Man, that was boring. It sounds fun, flying around in your own little private plane thing, little Cessna. But oh my god, is it boring. I mean, yeah, sure, it'd be fun if you just go up for a couple of hours, like, or less. But when you spend 3 days, like 12 hours a day, flying across a desert, oh boy, does it get boring. Like, oh look, another sand dune. And then we finally got to be in the desert. I couldn't wait to go sand dune boarding and things, and it was all really grassy and rained. Damn it. We travelled over all the cool looking desert on the way there. Yeah. For some reason my dad didn't want me playing games on my Game Boy. Like, stuff that. I am playing games. Doesn't matter what you're saying about it. What was that? That's right, I lost that game. It was on a PSP. Mercury. That was such a fun game. What was it on? Damn it, I'm dubbed.
Mono sounds more enjoyable than what I can do in my neighborhood, games not included.
Nah, real boring. So you just literally, it's like it's just the same as like sitting on a really long bus journey, except it's a lot noisier. Well, the temperature wasn't that bad. Our little air vent thingy, just the outside air gets pushed through like from the propellers. And propeller only had a single prop, so you got this really nice cool airflow coming through from outside, and you can just pop open the window as well, because you know that's a thing you can do, which is really funny. Because flies will stop flying after a certain height, and it wasn't pressurized.
I've been on a plane before.
Wow, you need to get out more, man. I have been on so many planes that it's just like owning a car to me, like. You know, I used to live on an island, and I used to go traveling from that island to Australia 3 times a year, I think it was, which is 6 flights a year, like 3 to get off the island and 3 to get back onto the island. And those were about a 6-hour flight each to get there and to get back, so that's pretty boring. 6-hour flight? That seems too long. Maybe it was like a 4.5 to 5, depending on the wind conditions. One time I remember it was a real quick flight. We got there real early, like a whole hour early or something. Had a tailwind the whole way. And other times it could be delayed by an entire hour. But yeah. So I mean, I've flown on a lot of airplanes. I've had to throw away passports because there weren't any pages left to stamp. So I had to get a new passport. So many stamps. Every time you leave and come back, they stamp your passport. And a page can only hold about 3 stamps. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, that and the private airplane. But the fly. Flies will stop flying after a certain height in an unpressurized plane. And they just start walking around the place, like, probably really confused about what the world's going on. And I had one that was sitting on the windowsill of the window, so I popped open the window and it just got sucked out. And it was like, I always imagined like creating a cartoon thing, like an animated thing one day on the fly in the airplane, just like flying around and finding a cool place, sitting down, you know, just wandering around the place.
Been on only like 3 trains and 4 buses.
Wow. You're a real shut-in, damn. That's... What? Where do you live again? Living way out in the middle of nowhere? Man, I used to have to catch a bus to school after I left the island. They didn't have buses on the island. There was one bus on the island. I only got to go on it a few times, and one time I got my fingers slammed in the door, because like you could put your fingers out the window in the front seat, and then into around, like you could sort of grab onto the windowsill, like, and you'd be holding through the window and then through the door, and your fingers would wrap back around. And the guy slammed the door, and I started my fingers in it. And it was right where the lock part went. It's like distorted some of my fingers. I was really little at the time. I don't remember anything past that, apart from the real pain and yelling and stuff. The guy's like, oh, wah, and I'm like, oh, my hair. It just opens up the door after, like, he had to really push the door open because it was, like, jammed shut because of my fingers. But I don't remember any damage to my fingers. Like, I don't remember any blood, no broken bones or anything. I just remember my hand really, really hurt. And walking to the doctor's thing, the sick bay or whatever they called it. And that's all of that memory. My mom apparently never even knew about it. So, I don't know, scars or anything. You'd expect it to be a pretty bad thing, but yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, then I had to catch like an hour-long bus to school every day. I moved to Australia, which was really annoying because the school would have only been like, it probably would have only taken an hour to walk there, but the bus had to go all the way away from the school into town, and then all the way back to where the school was to go around this big mountain ridge. Yeah. But there was a whole lot of these causeways along the way, so after heavy rain, it would be flooded, and the bus couldn't get to us, so I'd have lots of days off school. That was awesome. Hey, what was I rambling about again? Oh yeah, the fly. I think it'd be cool to make an animation of the fly, like getting sucked out the window, and it's just tumbling down, like, oh, like freaking out, like, what the world's going on, and it's falling, it's like wings aren't working, it's trying to flap its wings, but nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden, like, just before it hits the ground, it just, like, boots back up, just flies off. Just like, what the world just happened. Anyway. Yeah. The airplanes are real noisy, the single private things like the Cirrus and things. I mean, the Cirrus is the other plane Dad got. Cessna. You gotta use noise cancelling earmuffs and stuff like that, and even then it's pretty loud. You get used to it though. It's much louder than it is on a... I think with the noise cancelling headphones, it's still louder than it is on a normal plane. You know, depending on how old the plane is, whereabouts you sit. You sit at the back, it's much louder than at the front. Yeah. Oh man, I remember going, whenever I used to fly for the island, I used to fly as a minor, as they say, unaccompanied minor, which used to give you free stuff, which was awesome. One plane I went on one time, I got free unlimited Cornetto ice creams.
Mono, I live in the Netherlands in Lelystad, small city but capital of a province, and the schools at Vinti are like 2 to 3 minutes away from home.
Damn. That sounds pretty nice. But yeah, I always got to go away from the place. Like some people...
On bike or walking.
Yeah, okay. But, the island I used to live on, oh my god. Well, I'm gonna break out the maps of the island. Some people never left this island, and some people have lived there their entire lives without leaving, except for, no, the guy that's lived there the longest without leaving, he left once. Yeah, there's the island out here. This is where I used to live. So, just a tiny little island. That's the airport, give you a sense of scale. These are houses. It's just like, well out in the middle of nowhere, just nothing but ocean. So I used to fly to Australia every year, 3 times in the holidays. Go see my grandparents and stuff. Oh man. Sometimes I'd come back to the island with McDonald's, because the TV and stuff comes from the end of New Zealand here. And they would be playing ads for McDonald's and stuff, real staticky TV.
Mono, now look up Lelystad, then you'll have an idea where I'm at.
Oh wow, surrounded by farms and things. What? Man, look at these houses. These look like real upper class looking houses. This is like the rich areas, the whole place like this. It's like a England looking sort of setup. Wow. Looks pretty fancy. There's like a lot of rich people live here. Where's the shops and things? Like, do you have like a town sort of area, or am I just in a place with only houses? Yeah, but you could just go places. These other random places just absolutely everywhere. Wow. It's big. Looks like it'd be really annoying to try to travel around this place. I don't know. Like, you could just go places. But yeah, when you're trapped on this damn island, there's nothing. Like, it takes a day to walk around this, like 12 hours to just walk around the island. I used to be able to ride my bike from my dad's place down here. Oh, they updated the maps. It's brighter than it used to. Ah, there it is. That's my dad's place there. And I used to be able to ride from my dad's place all the way up, around here, and then this is town. It's like it's just this one street with all the shops and stuff. We'll split off down here. Other than that, it's all the shops, and then we're back to like houses and things. Got a hospital over there, all the way up to here. It's like that's my friend's place. Yeah, that's not gonna work. There we go.
Mono, there are 3 places where you can shop: the normal city, Batavia Stad, or Lely Centrum.
I got a city, that's fancy. Why is this confusing me? There. So there to my friend's place up here. This is like a really big steep mountain going up here. Doesn't really show it off. Wait, do they have a house there now? No, this one? Yeah, this one. There's like a building that was half built and never finished here. Yeah. So 7 minutes in a car. I could do that in... I feel like it's going to take longer than 7 minutes. I could do that in... I think it was like 13 minutes. Oh, I can't remember. I was saying it a while ago. I could ride that in 13 minutes on my push bike. Or somewhere around there. It was less than 15, I'm pretty sure. Less than 15 minutes to ride my bike. And that's sort of like halfway across the island, like short ways. I mean, yeah, that's just like halfway across, like, yeah, all the way across short ways and halfway long ways. Right about, you know. That's that. You know everybody here. Real small town community. Pretty fun for a couple of weeks, but it's pretty boring after like 10 years of living there. Got an amphitheater thing. I have weird memories of this place. It doesn't seem right. Like, it's got this big water, like big watery area, and then they have like a stage. I guess that's like the backdrop. So these would be seats. Oh, that's the stage. Then you have the water? I don't know. It's like a amphitheater plaything. It's just weird though. I don't think it gets used much. Anyway. And my mum's house used to be up here. That place.
Vampire Frog, is this Epstein Island?
Norfolk Island.
Mono, what was your high school?
Well, this place didn't really have a high school. It just had a school. So this is the school here, which is a lot bigger, sort of, than when I was there. That's the principal's house. So it had that building, this building, that building. This is the new toilet block. So that was newly built when I was there. Otherwise, this was the toilets. That's the sports shed. And the garage for the principal's car. The library here. You had that area there. This was built there. I think that area had always been there. No, this was newly built when I used to go there. That's the library. Wait, what's this place? I don't even know what that place is. Maybe this entire... I think this is all new. No. That's where the kitchens were for like cooking classes and stuff. I don't remember this section. Oh wait, no, that's the science labs there. This is wait, where's the woodwork place? Woodwork place is back
Vampire
here.
Frog, how did you get that purple title R? Title bar.
Anyway. So that's that place. What was I gonna do?
Mono, that looks small.
Absolutely tiny. So yeah, where's that's never gonna damn happen. What? I don't want to move it. I want to go to it. What was that site called again? True size of. Was this the one that works? Yeah. What was it like? How do you delete something? Clear map. Wow. And where were you? Well, up there. Hey, near England. Where's England? I'm lost. Immediately lost over here. That's placed there, right? No. Where am I at? Amsterdam. I know somebody lives in Amsterdam. You're over here somewhere. I don't see it.
Mono, no, that weird part in the middle.
Okay. Oh. Yes, that's sort of like the size comparison of where you live compared to that island. The shape's a little misshapen, but it's generally about the right shape. You know, the right sort of area. So that gives you an idea of how absolutely tiny that island is. And I lived there for 10 damn years. But as I said, I was lucky because I got to go off the island. It's always a lot smaller than you think it is when you actually move it somewhere else. Do you have an airport? I mean, I'll assume you'd have an airport somewhere. Is it like further away? Whatever. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. And then you see it compared to the place where I'm living now. Gonna grab the damn island? Crap, gotcha. I'm living in the city now. So, it's huge. I live in this West End area. And it's like, I mean, even that, it's pretty crazy to think like that's how, like this area that I live in is, you know, like a sixth the size of the island. Yeah. Should I try to walk into the city and back every day? Which actually isn't that far. You know, whatever. I actually wouldn't go anywhere that's not even half the size of that. That's not right. That would mean my judgments of distance was actually correct. I used to say it would take like an hour to walk some places around the island, and people would be like, what? I don't think this is right at all. I think this is well too big. Yeah.
Mono, my school is SGL Scalir and Jemin Shaplellisted High School.
Yeah, it was because there was only the one school on the island, that was that. But yeah, I moved to Australia at one point. Where is Australia? So the school that I went to was, it was another one of the schools with, that had all of the schooling stuff, high school and primary school. really amazing place. I really wish I moved here earlier in a way, because it was real nice. But yeah, Mullumbimby, that's where I used to live when I moved to Australia. Real nice place, very green and grassy and stuff. I lived out here, Main Arm. Wonder if I could even find the property. Yeah, the map looks bigger and greener than it used to be. Down that road. I think it is around here. This place? No. I don't know, somewhere around here. It'll take me a while to find it. Oh, it's further down? No. Where's the Main Arm School? I really feel like I was down there. Is that the shop? No. Well, there's Drumble Hall, no, so I've already gone past it.
Mono, mountains don't exist in the Netherlands and big hills aren't really here either.
Okay. I don't know, some foresty looking place like that. Drumble Hall I remember being on the opposite side, which is near the public school, so it should have just been over here. I had a friend that lived on the same property and he used to walk to the school. So it would be around here somewhere. There should be a little offshoot of a road. Don't know. Yeah, I remember this. It should be here. Well, that doesn't look right. It's too foresty. Oh, unless... No. I don't know. Somewhere around this general area. Oh, what? That's this... Never mind. Oh, that's the Drumble
Not
School.
all that fun, but it is a fact where I live used to be the sea bottom.
Wow. Well, technically Australia was supposed to be like that as well. Over here is where I used to live. Whoa, that's a lot clearer than it used to be. Oh, so I used to live in that house there. And they built this house while I was here. Which is sort of weird, because I don't remember people driving up and down the road bringing supplies to that. I guess it probably happened when I was at school. It's got a big creek down here. There's like a dam. This is like a real old lady's house with like really antique stuff. Like she's basically just lived there her whole life. Never left. And technology just never got upgraded. There was like a wood-fired stove and everything. And the school is over here. So... over there somewhere, I think. I don't even know. I didn't look at this place that long ago. My memory's all distorted. Maybe it was over here. Real crazy nice. There it is. This school. Really cool school. Most of it wasn't there when I started. The whole bus stop area was completely different. It had this lot of like that building, this one, that one. Why is it all blurry? Is this all 3D now? It's like it's trying to be 3D, but I don't see the 3D. Weird. Weird seam on the roof. Anyway, yeah, so that was there, this was here, this building was here, this building was over here somewhere. Yeah, this building was like attached to there, and then just like picked it up and moved it down here. This whole stuff there was there, that's brand new. So this is a well more updated, they did update it. These are supposed to be temporary buildings, or at least that's what they were before. Has this been extended? There's a whole new thing there. No, because you got a little creek thing running down there. My classroom used to be here for a while. No, it was... Hey, it has been extended. Oh, wow. My classroom was there. Wait. No. What? Now I'm thinking of over here. Yeah, my classroom was here. It was like a volleyball court. Wow, so that's brand new. That's the creek part. Obviously. It's got a whole lot more trees and stuff. Anyway, really amazing school. So it's like the primary school area and high school area. And it's got like this cool creek that goes around it. And then it's got like an illegal trash dump here. Like that part, I guess. All dead trees, chemicals and stuff. Real bad looking stuff. It's got a hole around here somewhere that's just full of dead cows. Because that's a thing. Really smells. Yeah, I used to just climb trees all day around here. Lots of fun. It was a really awesome school because you didn't have homework, you don't have school uniforms, you don't have to worry about things like pen licenses because those were things at the island school. You don't really have to learn things. You learn passively rather than actively. It's the whole idea, I think. Like, you don't learn to read and write, the teacher just does stuff and you learn and ask questions in your own speed sort of thing. But if you reached year 4 and you're still having problems, then you have a few extra classes. Like dedicated ones just for you. Or the people who need it. But yeah, the classes are built around the students rather than the students needing to fit the classes. So, the whole class is behind on something, and that's what the whole class gets buffed on. I remember this whole area. This was all just trees. I don't know. Planted a whole heck of a lot of trees in this area, I think. Really amazing place. Really, really great. Teachers actually wanted to teach and all that sort of stuff. At least when I first went there. A lot of budget cuts meant all the best teachers had to be let go. Big old golf course, never went there. Damn it! I'm ranting! Another hour's passed. Why did you make me rant? What am I doing? Get this damn thing working. I want to do stuff today. I have to do laundry. I have to get cat food. I can't be delayed too long. I've got 2 hours before I'm gonna be going no matter what. 2 hours to get this damn thing working. Where was I up to? It's not adding itself to the edges. Is it not instanced correctly? So, what is this? This, that, thing, that is equal to this. Which should be a direct version of that, so it should be all instanced. Okay. So if that is instanced, when I do this, it should also be adding it to that. Yeah. Anything I add to any of those variables get added to this thing. To this thing. So I don't understand.
Mono, because you ranting is enjoyable.
Yep. One of the biggest streams I had after the whole DLive thing died was talking about political stuff. My view of a world government. Unified world government. Using voting. Because everyone's got technology nowadays. Imagine if you just had an app on your phone, and every week, like once a week or something like that, or over a week, you would just vote on different aspects of your community, your whatever, like going out further and further scales. Like, your phone would be your ID, or you could put your ID through your phone. And the amount of value your vote had depended on what your,
Mono, and oh hell, it's late for me. It's 2:07 and I have to wake up at 6 o'clock.
Oh, I thought you were going to school. Wait, no, that was the other guy. Is that the other guy? No, that was you, wasn't it? No, that was the other guy. I don't remember. Someone else had to go to school. But yeah, it's like, imagine if you just had an app on your phone, and every week, all of your local communities matters, or like area or country or whatever, you would just get things you got to vote on. But it has to be written in some sort of a sterilized way that didn't make you biased to whatever the opinion was. And yeah, you could either vote yes or no, or write some sort of a thing about stuff. or however else you want to do. Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. And the power that your vote had would depend on your knowledge of the subject that you happen to be voting on. So if you had a degree in whatever sort of studies that was relevant to the thing you're voting on, your vote would have higher power than somebody who didn't have absolutely any knowledge in the subject whatsoever. The more knowledge in that subject you had, like if you had a doctorate in whatever, you'd probably have like 100 times more voting power or something like that. I don't know.
Mono, I
Yeah.
also have to go to school, but I have to be there at 8:15, but do a lot of stuff in the morning.
Okay. So you're not going to school now? Well, whatever. But yeah, imagine if you just had a system like that. So, if you wanted to have a higher say in things, then you would actually have to go and study that subject, and then your vote would have more power. But, you know, there's always ways to corrupt the system and all that sort of stuff. And any person can put down a vote for something, I guess. I mean, that again is a bit of a problem. But, yeah, and then everybody votes on it accordingly.
Mono, no, not now. That would be crazy. It's past midnight.
I don't know, I thought you were saying yesterday or whatever it was that you had to go to class, and that was around this time, I guess. You had to be like in class in 4 hours or something. Maybe it was someone else. I don't remember. Yeah, imagine if you had that. So it would go all the way out from your local sort of town or area or whatever, or area, then town, all the way up to a global matter. And that was that. So every person on their phone would be the government, in a way. And yeah, because, you know, the masses are dumb, by giving more voting power to the people with the actual knowledge in the subject, you could theoretically have a working system. And then allowing people to add their own votes, you could do crazy stuff, like all of this carbon emission things.
Mono, school lasts from 8:15 to 1600.
School goes for 9 hours here. Wait, 6 hours. Yeah. You start at 9 and it ends at 3. Basically a universal thing. Doesn't matter what year you're in or anything. I know other countries have stuff like in high school, you start later and go for longer. Or stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. I just didn't go to school, generally. If I was too tired, which was the majority of the time, I missed out on a lot of school. High school. Yep, that's what you get for having a sleep problem. Delicious chocolate. What am I doing? Okay. So, what is this? Yeah, it's basically a 3-hour-long rant, that popular stream about that thing and religion. What am I looking for? 4433. 4433. So that is being put into here.
Mono, in my school we don't have standard times for high school. We could have one day with 8 hours and one with 3, sometimes also 1 hour.
So I guess it just depends on the teachers and what you need to learn at the time. Yeah. I seem to remember we just had a lot of days that was just free time. But the school that I went to, you had the same teacher throughout the entire of primary school, and then another teacher throughout the entire of high school, which is pretty cool. And the teachers would also be doing classes other than that stuff, So you would have to wait for certain times for that teacher to become free to teach your class from whatever their usual thing is. Yeah, every teacher was a homeroom teacher, I think, apart from a few specialized ones, like science and things. Chemistry teacher and all that, he was just there for chemistry, I think. Yeah. That damn art teacher. I couldn't wait to do art classes and stuff because I really wanted to do art, and she was the worst damn art teacher ever. She would basically be ranting throughout her days.
We have a teacher for every different subject.
Yeah.
No, we have a teacher for every different subject.
In the in the primary school stuff, we would have just that teacher for everything. So we would turn up for school, we'd have that one teacher throughout the entire day, and then we go home. Unless there was some specialized subject that he just wasn't good enough to even teach a primary level version of it in. Which, you know, it's pretty rare. Or, you know, they have to be sick or something. Which, I don't think of it, like, never happened. Crazy. Yeah, couldn't wait for art. Then the art teacher just sits there ranting all day about how amazing she is and how everybody loves her. And then we never actually did any art. And when we did do art, it was just like, draw this. And that was as much as we got. Because she was all about, like, freedom of expression and stuff. And I was like, no, I want to learn, like, the theory, not the theory, the practice behind things. I want to know, you know, techniques for mixing colors to get better results and stuff like that. How do you do shading? I don't know. Well, that sort of junk. Now, how could I make, like, accurate renderings of, like, hard surface structures and stuff like that so it looks like a photograph? How do I do that sort of stuff? That's what I wanted to know. Didn't teach us a damn thing. Apart from the theory stuff, which basically summed up means colors mean absolutely nothing. It was always like, oh yeah, this culture, this color means this, and that color means that, and this culture it means this, and this culture means that. It's like, well, this culture means death, and in another one it means life, so this thing means absolutely nothing, because it means everything. That's thanks for wasting my time. Now I'm even more confused about what colors I should be using. Yeah. And she also stole my stuff. She steals things from her students, which is really annoying. So I did a really great drawing one day and she stole it, I say. And I just like, yeah, I'm not doing this class anymore. Just went on strike. What am I doing? So yeah, this is a thing, it exists, and it has this put into it. What is it? It's 1S12. 1S12. And you are there. Okay. Well, it's there for everything. So the problem is only when there's two intersections? Why? Oh god. All the way down next. Where is start? Let's scroll past it. There's another one. Another one. Okay, which ones of these do not have anything in 3? That one. 2S20. Well, that's never even added. What? Oh, okay. So I think the problem isn't that it isn't being assigned when this stuff is doing its thing. It's that this stuff is never even running in the first place. Because these values are added up here, which don't run through this until we have that happen. So, well, that was back to where I started then. Which means if I do a single cut, well, every single one of them had faces in it. This never happens. Okay. let's leave that one there. So, well, before that even, I can just sort of do that here, couldn't I? What is this?
Mono, our new Dutch teacher, threw water bottles of students in the trash because he was mad at them, those reusable ones, not throwaways.
What?
Vampire Frog, it's gonna be empty if you console log right after you assign it there.
It's instanced, so it should have the like instanced information. 4351. 4351. So that one's empty, and that one's also dead. What? This should be logging the instanced information that's added at that point, and then when it loops back around, it's reset to be something or other else. So it should be showing all of the information. $44.77. It's way further on. Okay, maybe I'm wrong for some weird reason. What is it here? And also just because I can. Why did I do that? Oh. What is the play? The FID. What's the FID?
Mono, I think I'm gonna go. I have homework to finish.
Got sleep to finish from the sounds of it. Have fun. Thanks for dropping by. I wish it counted as a viewer on Twitch. I'd like, what was it, like it was 2 point something or other average views according to DLive, but according to Twitch it was like 0.3. That plummeted my average views. Almost got up to 2.5. I mean, to 2. It was 1.8 was the size it got. Now it's back down to 1.3. Okay, yeah, it's not doing that. Wait, what?
Vampire Frog, nice follower count.
on DLive? I don't even know what it is. I seem to be getting a new follower every— wow, apparently I got 3 views on DLive right now. Other than you. Oh, if there's people on DLive, before you go, oh, it's broken, never mind. I was gonna open up the chest, but...
Vampire Frog, it's 88.
Okay. Is this my channel? Yeah, followers. Yeah, I seem to be getting one every day lately. What movies here? Hello. Guess I could follow Hiram. Why not? But verified followers. Wow. Colonel Crumpet and this guy's? Whatever. This guy used to do stuff all the time, now it's just recorded videos.
Vampire Frog, lots of them are either bots or don't talk, but most importantly, they don't watch.
Yeah. And I feel like most of these, like a lot of these names I recognize as somebody who's at least mentioned something at one point.
I have about 71 and most viewers I've had is 5.
Yeah, I used to have a whole lot more back when I first started streaming here, before PewDiePie happened. After PewDiePie, the whole thing just went downhill. Oh, I can do it. Well, right, if you want to be a follower, you better do it now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. There you go. I keep forgetting about this damn chest thing. Whenever I get viewers in here, I'm trying to remember to open up the chest, because, you know, it doesn't do anything for me. And it's just gonna run out, you know. It's never gonna be anything big, and it just gets reset every week, so I may as well just open it whenever I remember. How many people are supposedly in here? Oh, if that's what. Hey, look, I got my amount again. Back up to 400. What? Okay. There you go, you got it all. Congratulations, Monotrade. Does it say like videos? No, I guess you have to be a person now to get that stuff. Earnings. Yeah, there's a number of these things I never saw.
Vampire Frog. It didn't pop up on my end.
Yeah, you were a follower. Yeah, I don't know how that thing works. I like the old one where it was just like, as you interacted, it would just count up, and then you gain a free point. Because back then, when that thing counted up and they gained a free point, they'll just give it back to me.
Sour show.
Okay.
Sour shower, asterisk.
Lemon party. Yeah, let me know if I've ever not realized that there's stuff here. If you want me to just open it. Probably won't ever be that much though.
Mono, random thing, you likely can't pronounce my surname.
Kavana? Calvi?
Kraken.
What? Is that how you're supposed to pronounce that? Nah. I mean, I get the CA is like a cra, but...
Mono, no it's not.
What? Oh, you say that's the name that I can't pronounce, not this thing.
Vampire Frog, grouchy.
Well, I mean, the thing he sort of pronounced it for me, so I imagine that's how you pronounce it. Doesn't really work when you got a chat thing. Unless that also can't pronounce it. There's so many different ways you can pronounce words. It's always confusing. But, well, back to doing stuff, damn it. That's only supposed to have one thing, and it's supposed to happen twice, that's it. But if I get that other side in there, what do I see? So, that happened twice, and this should be the other side, which only happened once.
It isn't, it's butchered because it's the English text bot.
Okay. I could change what accent it has, but I don't know what the accents are. I know there's a whole lot of Asian accents I can change it to, but I can't understand half of those. I'm terrible at accents. Anybody with a heavy accent is just a mystery to what they're saying. Even reasonably light accents. Then I guess I just don't talk to enough people with accents to be able to understand them. What was I doing? Yeah, so that only happened once. It's supposed to happen twice. It only happened once because only one of them was detected, or... yeah, only one of these edges knew that it was supposed to have that face belonging to it. So, this was off the one. What happens?
Vampire Frog, whale oil beef hut.
Such an English accent you have there. No, that's Irish? I don't know. I'm terrible at accents. I can't even do my own accent. I mean, do I sound Australian? Because I shouldn't. But I don't sound anything like the island accent that I should have. It's a really weird thing. I can't even pronounce them, the words. I can understand that, I just can't talk
Vampire
it.
Frog, yes Irish.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what the name of the language is. I don't like to say it's like what away or yoli. Just hello everyone.
Mono, my accent is terrible.
Yeah. Most people's are. Oops. What? Did I just... Okay. I'm confused. Oh yeah, it's because I was only looking at the 1, not the 0. Okay, what do we got here?
Vampire frog. I have circumflex, brief, and Sedilla accents.
I don't even know what those are. I mean, isn't that like an exercise equipment? And I'm assuming some type of food? Superflex. Okay, so let's ignore the ones that don't have a 3. Perhaps it was removed because that face was deleted. So we're only left with 1, which would have been down
Vampire
that side.
frog. Oz.
Okay. So yeah, that one. 0 to 1, 0, 0, 1. That one should have had that segment face in it, but it didn't. Why? Okay. Let's just refresh, so I can't be bothered scrolling down to the bottom of the chat every time. To the blog. Hey, good night, 11. So when I have that, I should have 2 faces on all the things.
Mono. English isn't my mother language and the languages are very different, so it sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. It's always crazy how well people who don't speak English. I want to learn another language. I want to learn Japanese so I can watch anime without subtitles. Because, you know, that's as good a reason as any. But, it just takes so much time and effort. I can't program and learn. I can't multitask learning a language. If you're learning a language, that's all you're able to do at the time. At least to start off with. Maybe as you get further through, you can multitask. But yeah, I'm always multitasking, and I can't stream. Well, I can't program. I'll have to be streaming while I program. I can't program without streaming anymore. Damn it! Distraction. What am I doing? So that's got nothing, that's got something, that's got nothing. That one should also... No, that one has something, okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So this one, which is that middle joint, has both. That is correct. This one, which is 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2 is this segment. That should have the 1 or the 0, I don't know. Okay, so apparently that one's 0 and that one's 1, so yep. And 0, 2 should have the 0, and 1, 1, 2, so 1, 1, 2 is this segment should have the 1, and that one should have the 0. Wait, yeah.
Mono. I speak English and Dutch and I'm quite good at English, but my grammar is extremely bad most of the time.
I don't even use grammar, so don't worry. You got things to do, you got apps to do that for you. I had when I was in primary school, I guess they just didn't have anything to teach us, so pretty much like an entire week we pretty much only had English, and it was so boring and so annoying because it was basically the teacher teaching us the same things over and over again, that I just went, nope, I'm never doing grammar again. And then I never did. Yep. That was the thing that happened. And then the school they moved to in Australia didn't care about that stuff, so it was never a problem. Never a thing I had to go back and learn. Also, I'm somewhat dyslexic, I think, so words are weird anyway. Got like a mirrored memory of stuff. D's and B's are really confusing. But I got it down now. Left and right, it took me so long to get that stuff down. Never even bothered learning my own classes of names because I sucked so much at names and words and stuff. It took me like 3 years to learn my own class's name, and I finally did, and they added like a whole extra class. Because it was like split into 2 classes. I had to learn a whole extra class of people, which I never learned them. It's weird. It was like a class that was just always there, but I never knew the people. Anyway, what's up to? So 0, 0, 1 would be the top part, and that belongs to 0. Was anything missed out there? The 1, 0, the 2, 1, 2? No? Okay, let's do that again. So 0, 1, 0 is a 0. Yep. And then the 1, 0, 1 is a 1. Yep. The 1, 1, 2 is a 1. Yep. The 2, 1, 2 is a 0. Yep. The 2, 0 is the 0. Yep. So that's around the outside, and then we just got that one, which is both of them. Well, according to that, everything is perfectly acceptable. That's annoying. Okay, whatever. So supposedly bringing that thing down, we should have the exact same information to start with, which we won't be able to see.
Mono, Dutch grammar is 100 times worse than English and I have dyslexia.
Wow. Yeah, languages are weird. So I was trying to learn Japanese by just like I wanted to have just audio thing which just says like, this word means this, and then it says the word. This word means this, and then it says the word, sort of thing. So it was just like, say the word, say what it means. Say the word, say what it means. And I was just going to have that playing in the background while I did stuff like playing games or something like that. I had a whole series of stuff I was going to do. Like I had it all planned out while I was going to listen to this thing. It turns out things like that are very hard to find and just seemingly don't exist. So that didn't work. And then I tried to actually listen to some things, and that would have never really worked anyway, because the construction of sentences and stuff like that is completely different. I was expecting it just to sort of be like English, but the words are different. You know, why would it be any different to that? But no, it's like Yoda. You gotta say things in a reverse direction. And I don't even remember most of it anymore. So it's like, instead of asking, would you like some food? It would be like, food, you. And that'd be it.
Hello, how are you in Dutch is hello, ho god het met jou.
Wow. Is Dutch Finnish, or is Finnish a different language? I had a friend who was saying whatever the Finnish thing was hello for hello, and it was like this really long thing. It's like, what? Must be really annoying to say that all the time. Had like an extra few words in it like that. Yeah. I don't know. What am I doing? Yeah.
Mono, different language.
So what do we have? 0, 0, 1 is nothing. That's acceptable, because that no longer exists. And 1, 0, 1 should be something, but isn't, because... Wait, why are you nothing?
Mono, and also whenever people say lol I get irritated because in the Netherlands that means dick.
Lol. Yeah, there's a few words like that in different languages. Oh man, I always say that. I used to say it ironically, but now it's not ironic. Anyway, so why does that not have that? Because that should have created this face and that face, and at the time of creating that face, it would have assigned itself to those three parts, and then this other slicing up here would not be affecting that, but it seems like slicing up there has somehow deleted that face. Okay, and then 1, 1, 2. You still exist though. Why do you exist? But the 1, 0, 1 does not. Do I have a duplicate in names? No. This should never actually be running, because that's not running, so this should be no different to just slicing through it with one side. Why did that happen? I'm so lost in this damn code. What am I doing? What could I have messed up to give me these results?
Mono, now I'm going for real. Bye, have a nice day. I'll be there next stream.
Thanks for dropping by. I can't believe I got like no views on Twitch yet. Where's my view thingies? No. Windows are all out of order. Not a single view today on Twitch. Ah, music pause again. Such a damn boring song. If I don't let it play, it's gonna keep looping back around. Ugh, but it's so bad now. Let's just skip to the next song. Damn it, what am I doing? Okay, so, why is it being deleted? It should only ever delete stuff when it hits that thing. But it's not hitting that thing because it's not finding the other half of this thing. It's not finding the other half of this thing because this thing's been deleted somehow. It was added correctly when I do a single side, the single side works fine. Nothing should be deleting anything anywhere. The only thing is these lists of stuff being cleared, but they're being cleared, not deleted, so any instanced information would be perfectly fine with wherever else it was instanced. Why is it removed? Does it have the wrong information when it does this thing? What is F? F is this thing. If you can. And FID is literally FID. And that's just removing it from all the places it thinks it's in. Does it think it's in places where it shouldn't be? And well, why does it matter? Because this whole thing isn't even looping in the first place because it's not finding the other half of this. When I just do one side, it works fine. It is finding the intersections, it's creating all of this stuff. This is not doing anything with instanced information. I don't understand. Damn it, tabbing. What can I log? What can I do?
Lol.
What am I not looking at? What am I overlooking? What am I not seeing? All the tests has told me it should be working perfectly fine. That cuts entirely through that, perfectly fine, just as you'd expect. I see no problems there, and no problems there. So why is that one a problem? What does the wireframe tell me? Oh! Oh, that works. Sort of. Okay. So that one is cutting the middle line. They're just not being joined together correctly, or something. Origin points aren't being discovered correctly. Middles, I mean. Okay. But that's got nothing to do with that. It's what? What is it doing? Why? I don't understand. That's a completely different other problem. Or it's the same problem, I don't know. Yeah, hello kitty cat. I know. So what is happening? What can I do? What can I test? I don't understand. Everything's there. It is intersecting. It is slicing. It does have faces. Faces are being added. Faces are there. Faces are not being removed, but they're not there and they haven't been added, but they have and they are. So why are they not? What am I missing? Is it because this extra part is running, which should be doing literally nothing? There is no 2, 3s, or 4s, so that one should just be straight up skipping. The only thing that would be clearer is these things. And then that never even runs, because there is no E in that. Where am I? What am I doing?
Vampire Frog, maybe it's because your code is filthy and your variable names are garbage.
Only it was that simple. I mean, the variable name's pretty good here, other than that one. That's just a placeholder one to draw little boxes everywhere. So I don't care what that one's called. But everything else is what it is, you know. These are the checked faces, you know, that's the edges that are clipping with the screen sorted into the categories. That's the checked things, the checked edges, you know. Blah blah blah, that's the intersection between the two lines, which is creating the green dots. The green dots are existing because which is creating the third vertice between vertice 1 and 2. And then, you know, that's just displaying that. That's added to the all vertices, so just a list of every vertice, which is sorted by face, sorted by the object, so each object has its own all vertices, separated from the faces. And it's under that by the vertice name, because we have the metadata here, then we have the actual data of the vertice. So this is vertices 3's metadata, and that's its literal data. Or whatever. Little kitty. We have the camera object, or clipping object, or whatever you want to call that thing. I think it was originally a camera object, because originally this was designed to... Well, actually, yeah, it's a camera object in this case. And the Z, and this thingy figures out if this location is within that area. If it is, then it returns what sides of the... Like, well, if it is or isn't, it returns what sides it's outside of, or if it's inside. So, as just a number, 2 numbers. Left, right, top, and bottom. And if it's going left and top, then it'll be saying left and top, which I can then merge together to create a new number. Wait. But that's not... If that's just... If that's just the left and top, or whatever, and not a diagonal one, but sorted edges is expecting diagonal ones? How did we get the diagonal ones? Okay, so it does diagonal. What? It's not doing diagonal ones. That's what that extra conditioning thing is. Where'd that function go? Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so that's just doing direct sides, not diagonals. Where that one was doing the extra thing for the diagonal ones. Well, then why is that returning 2 things? I don't understand how this damn function works. Somehow, I'm creating check. Check is an array of 2 things, a number and another array. And at the very end, I'm returning check. Nowhere in here am I reassigning the entirety of check to just be this double array. Oh, I see. That is being replaced with these, which is the single number, which makes that a single thing. There we go. That's how that was working. So it's starting off like that, but then this is being replaced by a number. I thought it was just replacing that whole thing. Whatever. So technically this only needs to return a single number. But either way, it's working fine. Single number way just means I got less to deal with, but it doesn't matter. This way only has a single condition where the other one has up to 4. Okay, whatever. Okay. So, you're just going to be up, down, left, right. We're never going to have any diagonals, so, you know, we never need to worry about 8, 2, and 4, and 6, or whatever. That's all fine. So you do that, you figure out where the intersection is for this one, where it is inside, outside, which side, all that sort of stuff at the screen, and then you'll mix together with the sorted edges. No, you're added to the middle of the sorted edges, which the edges by default have a 0, 1, or 2 for one side and the other side. This gives it a middle edge because it's being cut down the middle somewhere. And then we create a new edge, which is one side plus the middle and the other side plus the middle to give it a unique ID. We add that to these things, that's all perfectly fine. So each of the sides sorted by edges, clipping sides is added so it knows this edge is clipping with those sides. Great. None of this is a problem in any possible way that could be affecting it in the way that it's being affected by. Whatever. And then I'm looping through the current one's things, which is that. So that should be, yep, this thing but with E. So blah 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 blah. This is the edge, that's the side, that's the edge ID. So on this side there is this edge, and this edge has what objects or what faces on either side of it, if any. Then we are looping through those. It's just a literal face. And we have its ID. We can see what this is. We can see what that is. Should be the same as this. And the same as that. Same as that. So if this is not within the list of faces which have been checked at least once, then we add it to that. Else, that means it's the second cut through a face, which means we have a middle point cutting through it. And then we need to remove that face and substitute it with 2 other subfaces, which is then what this is doing, and this apparently works perfectly fine as long as I'm only cutting on one side. Any one side, it doesn't matter. But then as soon as I do the other side, so it's cutting this and then that, suddenly information disappears as if it was never there in the first place. I don't understand. This is suddenly saying that this doesn't have anything. But from the first one's cut, we know it does. If we log the information, we can see it does. Everything tells me it should be existing, so why does it stop existing? I don't get it. Let's go again. I don't need all those logs. So what is happening? So these are all the edges sorted by the sides they're intersecting with. 0 and 1, so 0, 1 is that one. That one should contain no faces because the face that was there has been removed and placed with those 2 faces. 0, 0, 1 would be this edge there should be belonging to 0. So face 0, which would be this face, is attached to that edge. Yep. 1, 2. 1 to 2 would be down here. This should be nothing. 1, 0, 1 would be this one, this part here, which should be attached to 1, which should be the face that's here that's not being rendered because it's outside the field of view. 1, 1, 2 would be that one, which should be attached to 1, yep, and then 0, 2 is that one to that one, which is attached to 0. 2, 1, 2 would be this one, attached to 0. And then 0, 1 to 1, 2 would be this one, which will be attached to both of them, 0 and 1. That is all of the edges, all of the faces, everything is fine. Where does that mess up, if not at any time here? I don't understand. It all exists, it's all there. How did it suddenly cease to exist without anything ever changing those values? If this chunk of code never runs, this is the only place where a face should be deleted from the 3. One and only. Nothing there. Unless is it creating a new one and overriding it? I suppose that could be something. Shouldn't be happening anywhere though, but you know, the whole thing should just be working. Well, the only place where these would be created without going inside of this stuff's loop is right here. And these should only be getting created from a middle piece being created. So if there was a middle piece created from 0 to 0s01, then it would be called 0s01. I mean S0, no. It'd be called, yeah, 0s0s01 would be its name, which should be a unique thing. Just move it to the way that it always is, so consistent results. Why does that not? Oh, okay, so it's always there, it's just not rendering it. Close the button. Pause. So that segment should be 0s0s01. Oh. What? That's not here. Okay. No. Well, what the world are you? I should be doing both sides. Both sides don't seem to be there. Is it trying to cut 0, 1 again? It shouldn't be. 0, 1 should not be within the top part. Maybe it is? Okay, that could quite possibly be doing it. I think I need to... So if it hasn't been checked, and this E3 EJ true has some values. Does that fix it? I think it might have been cutting 0, 1 again, which finds an intersection and then replaces 0, 0, 1 and 0, 0, 2 with a brand new one, which would be clearing it. There we are. Oh yeah. Alright, let's get rid of the logs and put it through the full scene.
Vampire frog. Finally Nibba.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of want to see what this looks like when it's true, but I think that should be pretty much all the logs. Let's check. Otherwise, it's going to be like real slow because of the logs. It's going to be cutting 100 and whatever faces potentially, 900 and whatever. I think it's like 800. I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be doing that. But, oh yeah, there's another one. 4481. But I do actually want to see what it looks like with all the dots everywhere. Just so I can see which things are being sliced and which things aren't, see if there's any redundancies. Because there could quite... I think there's an extra step that I can optimize it with that I haven't. Yeah. Look at how the dots get bigger as you get closer. As scaling properly. Okay. Load in the rest of the models. I mean, I probably should just load in the rest of the door first, but whatever. And disable the limit. Where's the limiter? You. Crash. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot about display the vertice numbers and stuff. Oh boy. Well, I mean, it worked, but then it immediately crashed. Yeah. 4574. What was that? 45, 74, 74. 74. 74. Well, that's in the logging of this, so. Pulse. Well, too much geometry going on to really see anything going on. Oh, yeah, we got some stuff coming out.
Vampire frog. Geez, don't you have a van quad go to line?
I mean, I do, but... yeah. That should work with reflections now, too. Weird.
Vampire frog. Wow, that chat log is really crap.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, it's because of the sterilizations and the from DLive. Shady. Too bad the skybox isn't working. Probably look a lot nicer if it was. Anyway, well, I still got some minor errors I gotta figure out. It only seems to be happening on the floor though.
Vampire frog. If you put quotes in and quad, it breaks.
Yeah, symbols. It does it with symbols. Exclamation, exclamation marks and question marks and oh god, this just dropped performance a lot. What was that? What was that massive drop in performance? Browser lag, I guess. Oh yeah, well that makes the CPU run like trash. But it should optimize it so it'll work on pretty much the majority of graphics cards. CPU power is more consistent across devices than GPU power. So when that sphere... No, it dropped back down again. So what's making it spike, I wonder? I need to put some logs around. Right there. I guess it's just clipping the most amount of faces possible with the sphere. Weird. Expect it to be higher back here. It's higher up here. Nope. I don't get it. Why the massive spike there? Drop back down again. No. Whatever, it's probably just browser lag of some sort. Okay. Well, almost. Just gotta figure out what our world's doing with that. Which is only happening in that front part of the ship. Nope, it's happening on the roof here too. Okay. That looks like it's a problem with the edge slide of the cut edge. So it's supposed to be moving back here, like from there to there, but it's moving from there, from like back here to there or whatever. Sliding in the wrong direction maybe? I don't know. That's what, where's the wireframe button? There it is. Not really telling me much at all, is it? Whoa, what was that? Okay. Is it because it's leaving 3 sides of the screen? I didn't test that, did I? Yeah. What? Well, I achieved as much as I thought I was going to achieve today, and that was with owls and ranting on top. What the was that? I think I might have spikes of it looping. Or it's just completely coincidence. I'll just hold still for a while. Yeah, it's just happening anyway. I'm assuming that's some form of browser lag. Outside of my control. Yeah. I'm not seeing it doing any of the crazy clipping stuff. Never leaving outside of the view. Oh, there it is. Okay, it looks like something's gone wrong with where it thinks the middles of the faces are. Triangulation's broken. Can I consistently have that happen? Oh, I crashed it. I don't know, I think I'm done. I know I'm gonna get into this, get lost, and try to figure this out for the next couple of hours. I got stuff I gotta do today, which I should have been doing the last 2 days ago, but then I got stuck doing this stuff too much and got too tired. So I very much doubt it, but I might be back today to figure out this problem, so... I think this is the last problem. I don't know why, but I feel like there's a secondary problem here. One of them is that... yeah, I think there might be some sort of a magical form of looping going on, but it could just be browser lag, where it's not adding itself to the check thing. Other than that, just go through and see if I can find some optimizations around the places. Why is this commented out? What? Oh, somewhere completely different. Alright. So yeah, just figure that out, clean up the code, and maybe try to think of some more optimizations around the place. Like, I don't need the 8 and the 2 and the blah blah blah, the extra stuff this thing's doing. I don't think I ever really need that, so I can get rid of all of those things. And, yeah, that. So I feel like there's a few conditions where edges are being checked which would never actually intersect with that line, but should be able to be excluded with this stuff, but in a different way. It needs to have more conditions to it, I think. But these conditions are a heck of a lot faster than the intersection ones, so... Well, at least I feel like they would be. Yeah, intersection's doing some pyrotes and things. So... yeah, do that. Then I gotta go through and label everything, because this is a thing that's definitely gonna get lost to time in a couple of days. So, try to do that as best as I can. And then... well, I got multi-threaded support. Try to toss that through the whole thing. Or back to trying to figure out how to get performance from the GPU correctly. Person sent me a link to something where some other guy supposedly has it working, so I'm gonna guess I gotta have to dig through his code and see if I can find anything out. For whatever reason, there's no place I could ask about this damn information. Anyway,